More and more of the men who we find chatting online seem to be aware of our To Catch a Predator investigation. In Long Beach, California, we found this internet item warning that Dateline was in town. So it's not surprising that some of the men who came to our house in Long Beach quickly realized what they'd walked into.
And you know what the show is called?
Dateline.
That pattern has continued during this most recent investigation in Flagler Beach, Florida.
Come on in. It's freezing. Hurry.
This man suspects a setup and won't come in the house.
There it is, white SUV.
At first, this man won't even get out of his car and wants to take our male decoy for a ride.
No, I don't want to get in the car. I don't really know you. I'd rather just walk down there, you know.
Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?
Both of these men were arrested and charged with felonies, and both later pleaded not guilty. So because more and more men seemed wary, we came up with an alternate location. Instead of at the house, the decoy would now suggest meeting right across the street at the beach, where we set up 5 remote-controlled hidden cameras covering the beach and the boardwalk. I would meet the men on the walkway after they approached the decoy.
All right, that's our boy.
Here's Daniel Kelly, a 45-year-old businessman who drove 3 hours from Clearwater on Florida's west coast.
Hi. How are you? It's freezing. Let me grab my stuff real quick.
Online, Kelly used the screen name JPeterDK2000 to chat with a decoy named Amber, who said she was 13. Early in the chat, Kelly compliments the girl and makes small talk. But later in the chat, Kelly asks,
"Have you gone all the way with anyone?"
No.
"When you do, it will be special for sure."
And when she says she's going to log off and take a shower?
"I know you need someone there to wash your back for you, right? Washing the back would lead to washing the back of your legs, to the front of your legs, to the front of your stomach, and who knows where it would lead."
Then he talks about making out with the girl and about the nicknames he gives his penis. He clearly seems to know it's illegal to have sex with her.
"You realize that we could get into a lot of trouble if we did? At least I could."
But Kelly keeps talking and eventually writes,
"I want you so bad."
He agrees to meet at the beach. And now Kelly, nicknamed DJ, is talking to our decoy down on the boardwalk. Under the boardwalk, Flagler Beach police officer Kevin Pineda and his partner are stationed in a bunker, ready for anything.
How was the drive over here? Good. You can just stay up there. I'm coming up.
Hey, DJ, could you come up here for a minute? Could you come up here for a minute? How you doing? All right. Good. I just want to talk to you for a minute. Hey, DJ, there's something I got to tell you, though. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on adults who try to meet teens online. What's that?
Kelly makes a run for it with the police in hot pursuit, but he doesn't get far.
What do you do?
I'm trying to get my
Let go of the keys.
No, they're my keys.
Let go of the keys.
All right.
Stop resisting. I'm not resisting.
Kelly finally stops struggling and is brought back to the police station, read his rights, and questioned by an investigator.
Let me ask you, my first question to you, sir, is why are you here?
I was going to have dinner and maybe go to a movie with a young lady.
Kelly, who says his wife is away on a business trip, denies he was coming for sex, even when the investigator points out that police found condoms in his jacket pocket.
They found 3 condoms in your pocket.
Yeah, I always carry condoms with me.
You always carry 3 condoms in your pocket?
Well, actually, they've been there for quite a while, and I didn't know I had 3.
I'm single. I'm not married, and I don't carry condoms around.
Okay.
Later, Kelly pleaded not guilty to 2 felony counts.
Okay, I'm going to cut this off you, okay?
Did you grow up in Canada?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Would you like the weather here better?
Certainly do.
Don't blame you. How long have you guys been married?
20 years.
That's a long time.
20 plus.
How old are your kids?
20 plus.
So, did you drive from Clearwater to here?
Yeah.
That's a long drive.
Yeah.
How long did it
A couple
take?
hours. A little over 2 hours.
2 hours? Yeah, I got family that lives in St. Pete.
We can dispense with the small talk if you need to get right to the point, you know.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just waiting for the other investigator to come in.
Okay.
He's the one that's actually going to talk to you.
Okay. She said she was 13.
And how old are you, sir?
45.
You're 45.
Mm-hmm.
So you specifically came over here to meet this 13-year-old girl that you met online?
Yeah.
And your intentions were to take her out to dinner?
Yeah, and possibly a movie. She's talked about wanting to go to a movie.
To a movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It got out of hand at some points. I realized that.
Yeah. And
that's why I'm sitting here.
you're going to have to explain this to me, okay? Why would a 45-year-old man, how long you been married?
Too long, obviously.
How long you been married?
Over 20 years.
Okay, same woman.
Yeah.
Congratulations for that.
Man, that might change after this. I don't know, but depending on the consequences.
You own your own business.
Yeah.
And you have.
It's insane, isn't it?
And you have 2 children that are grown. Sounds like.
Yeah.
And I guess my question to you is, and I want to give you an opportunity to explain yourself, if you can.
There's no explanation, sir.
Why would you come all the way over here to see a 13-year-old child, female child, other than to engage in some type of sexual activity? Because that's what it sounds like when you read these transcripts.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. To be honest with you,
if you were a reasonable person, would you not agree with me?
Yeah, let me answer your question. To be honest with you, I actually considered, the ramifications of possible sexual activity with this person, and it scared the shit out of me. However,
do you think it might happen if you come over here?
No.
So better not to put yourself in that position? Or?
No.
I'm not married, and I don't carry condoms around.
Okay.
As a rule.
All right.
So is there a reason why? Was it just on the
No.
Just the chance that if something did happen, you'd have the protection and
No.
the child would be protected?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, there's a lot of sexual dialogue.
Yeah, I know.
You acknowledge that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't deny that, that's for sure.
Having any problems in the marriage?
Aside from the obvious one here, no.
No, I don't mean that.
No.
Any problems with your wife?
No. Well, like you said, there's no way of knowing what would have happened.
No, I appreciate your honesty.
I was pretty determined not to go past a dinner or movie.
But anything's possible.
But like you said, anything, if she would have been a real person who, I don't know, who knows? I mean, look how far it went just in the conversation,
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. You're not faithful to your wife?
I have been.
Have you ever cheated on her before?
In the past, yes.
Has she cheated on you?
Yes, she has.
So you've both been unfaithful to each other.
Yeah. And
you have an open marriage, or
No. We've been faithful since we've worked that out.
If she found out about this, she'd be very upset.
Absolutely.
You had a lot of willpower?
Well, not enough to keep me out of this trouble, but...
See, that's my point. So you come over here all the way to the 3-hour drive. You feel like you got a problem?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever had any kind of psychiatric treatment?
No, I won't.
When you say you won't, what do you mean?
I won't submit to psychiatric treatment.
Why?
Personal beliefs, that's all.
But yet you acknowledge that you might have a problem.
Yeah, but not something
that's compulsion. You said
it's not something that a psychiatrist is going to help me with.
Who do you think could help you?
I'll reserve that for my own. I mean,
you go to church?
Not currently, no.
Have you ever? You have any kind of religious background?
Sure.
What can I ask? What it was?
I was born and raised a Catholic.
But you're not a practicing Catholic?
A little obvious here.
Not necessarily. They got priests that get problems with this.
Yeah, but they're not practicing Catholics. I'm sorry.
Well, yes, I agree with you. But no, you don't. So you don't really have any kind of spiritual background.
I have a very heavily spiritual background. I'm not currently. Obviously, I'm off the rails.
But you don't feel like you need any kind of psychiatric help or counseling?
I need help. I need counseling. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But I won't subject to psychiatric counseling. It's hard to say that, under any circumstances, some other things could have happened. Maybe she was a 13-year-old stripper, and...
Would that have made it okay?
Maybe, I mean, it would have to be something pretty drastic than just, a 13-year-old girl. It would have, it would...
So if you found out that she was...
I'm not even saying that's it, but I'm saying it would have to be something pretty drastic.
If you found out that she was a 13-year-old stripper or a 13-year-old prostitute.
Right. Well,
okay.
that I would probably run away from.
Well,
if she was a prostitute, I'd run away from that.
Why? Because you're afraid of the disease factor?
Probably, yeah.
Well, what if she's a 13-year-old prostitute and she turns around and shows you a clean AIDS test and says, I'm clean?
Well, there's a lot of scenarios we could discuss here.